Brooks or D'Antoni? Who fits in Oklahoma City? Yeah. Well, obviously Brooks doesn't.
Brooks not anymore.
Yeah, they just got rid of him.
We're not going with that question here. There are three teams. There are only 3 teams in the NBA right now looking for head coaches, which is kind of surprising.
There'll be more.
Probably. The Orlando Magic looking for a coach. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who just fired Scott Brooks.
Who else is
and of course the Nuggets.
Who else would you add? I mean, who else do you think?
Well, it might have to be a team that's knocked out of the playoffs earlier than their ownership had hoped.
Charlotte? Who's in Charlotte? I don't even know who's coaching Charlotte.
I don't know who's Michael Jordan's coaching Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly.
So
here's the question, guys.
Coach.
First of all, Oklahoma City.
Mike
Brown,
assistant coach here.
Mike Brown?
No, the assistant coach here. Mike Brown was a film guy here. Yeah. Started his career. No, the Metro State coach.
Mike Dunlap.
I haven't heard his name mentioned once.
Well, he's not coaching in the league as a head coach anyway.
Well, neither's D'Antoni the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
reset.
Okay, reset.
Okay, all right.
Scott Brooks, Mike D'Antoni. They're both out there.
Who do you like in Oklahoma?
Both available. Who fits better with the Denver Nuggets? And also, why do you think Oklahoma City fired Scott Brooks?
Because Sam Presti traded James Harden a couple years ago, and then he blamed his coach for it, just like every GM that makes a dumb move.
And injuries?
He's
blaming Scott Brooks for the injuries?
Okay, I think Scotty Brooks fits better. And I'll go back to Brooks as an assistant here under George Karl, and he was looking to become a head coach in this league like a lot of young assistants are. And he came to me one time and said, do you think I'm ready? And I said, I think you're the best coach on this team right now. He said, assistant coach? And I said, no, you're the best coach on this team. So I like Scotty Brooks a lot. And I think, and I hear the criticism, well, he had Durant and he had Westbrook and he never won it all, and so he underachieved. Well, he
said vanilla offense and he doesn't adjust well on defense. That's all starting to come out now. I don't know if I believe it or not. But he's not the one who traded James Harden, as you said.
But they say he runs a lot of isolation, and that's not very creative. Well, if you have Durant and Westbrook, what else are you going to run?
Yeah,
you're going to give them the ball and let them score. That's what you're going to do. You're going to run pick and roll with big old Perkins? No, you're gonna isolate the 2 of the best scorers in the league. I think he's a good coach. I think he has some affinity for Denver. I think he showed an ability to develop young players. Was Russell Westbrook coming out of college an MVP candidate?
No.
Was he a franchise player? Did the coaching staff have anything to do with that? I would say it did. So I like Brooks better, but I've liked D'Antoni forever.
Who do you like? Who's a better fit here?
I said to you the other day that when the day he got fired, the Nuggets hired him that day because Orlando, he has a close relationship with the general manager down in Orlando.
You are correct,
I'm not sure that he wants to come here because he can go down to Orlando and they won't be trading away a James Harden because Scotty Brooks will be involved in it. I think if he comes here, he knows he's going to deal with the entire Kroenke family. Every Walmart heir in the country is going to be involved in the deal, and Conley wants to be his own man, and Josh is running this team when Stan's not running it. I don't know whether he wants to get in the middle of this. He has an affinity for Denver. You can have an affinity for Orlando. You can take the kids to Disney World and Universal Studio, and you're starting at ground zero. Forgive me, in both places. Here you got to start all over again. I'm with you. I would have hired Scotty Brooks right away. I'm not so sure that Scotty Brooks wants to come here. Mike D'Antoni would come anywhere.
Yes, he will. Mike D'Antoni would take the job in a heartbeat.
You're going to have to pay Scotty Brooks more.
Would either one excite the fan base, and who would excite them more? It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I don't think either coach would sell tickets, and I don't think anybody ever buys a ticket to see the coach. You can say that George Karl did a good job, and he did, but nobody bought a ticket to see George Karl coach. You could say that
their style.
They could say that they liked the way the Nuggets played under George Karl, but they came to see Chauncey or Carmelo or whoever. They didn't came at 3.
I would say, and these are not scientific polls, but the Denver Post poll over the last 2 or 3 days that it's something like 75 or 80% of the people are saying Scotty Brooks. They're like the 2 of us. If you can get Scotty Brooks.
Your point is well taken, though. they could have hired Scotty Brooks in 2 days. And if they didn't hire him in 2 days, maybe that's saying that Scotty Brooks wants to look around and look at Orlando.
I don't think his agent picked up the phone and said, Scotty's ready, because if you're fired, if any of us are fired, what's the first thing you immediately do, I think, if you're fired?
Oh,
Well, if you're John Madden, who never was
I
fired.
apply for unemployment. I don't know about you guys.
I go eat like 2 cheeseburgers.
No, you kind of reach out to people and say, I'm available for jobs.
Yeah.
So
I do that after I sign up for unemployment.
And so, if they were so in love, with Scotty Brooks, they would have. I'm fighting through all of this bullshit here, but
Keep fighting, Wood.
never mind.
Okay.
I made my point
Yeah,
that
I get it.
Scotty Brooks' agent would have called him and said, "Scotty, sign with you today because that makes you look good." It's Mike Kiszla, he's the Denver Post. He's with Channel 9. He wasn't fired. But Denver Post reacts. They make Troy Rink. You do stuff right away so you don't look bad. And for Tim Conley and Josh Kroenke to say, "Oh, we're gonna do a lay of the land. We're gonna see what the landscape is." No, Scotty Brooks is there. Mike D'Antoni's there. Alvin Gentry will be there when it's. If you can't make either one of those work, Alvin Gentry will always be there because the Warriors will be around for a while.
Okay, so what I take from this is the Nuggets should hire Mike Kiszla.